There's dumb. Then there's let's take off our helmets on an alien planet dumb. And in action movies, stupidity has a body count. Today, we're counting down the top 11 dumbest decisions in action movies that got people killed. The moments where one bad call led to total carnage. From splitting up during an alien invasion to trusting the villain mid-cruise. These are the choices that should have come with a funeral montage. Let's kick it off with number 11, where one small decision cost a whole city. Number 11. Let's not tell anyone about the asteroid. Greenland, 2020. What's worse than a planet-killing asteroid? How about the government deciding to keep it a secret until it's way too late? In Greenland, Gerard Butler plays a structural engineer randomly selected to survive a world-ending impact. But the real disaster? The global silence before the impact. Officials knew the comet could fragment and hit the Earth and chose to lie to the public. Cue millions of people not evacuating, not preparing, not even charging their phones. When the first fragment hits Florida, people are at the mall. By the time the evacuation starts, it's chaos. People die in traffic, riots break out at pharmacies. Had they just sent out a push notification like, hey, maybe stock up on batteries and don't plan that beach day in Tampa, half the casualties could have been avoided. The comet didn't kill them, the silence did. Number 10. Let's split up. Battle Los Angeles, 2011. A military squad gets surrounded by aliens in an urban war zone, and the first plan is, let's split up. In Battle Los Angeles, a group of Marines enters an enemy-occupied zone to retrieve citizens. They're under-equipped, unsure of alien tactics, and being watched from the skies. And someone says, we'll cover more ground this way. Classic. Minutes later, ambush, chaos, at least 2 soldiers die, the group ends up right back where they started, minus backup and minus good sense. Now let's be clear. Splitting up in horror movies is dumb, but in a coordinated alien invasion where air support has failed and surveillance drones are crashing, it's fatal. When your enemy can fly, shoot plasma, and communicate faster than you can reload, maybe stick together? Support the channel by liking and subscribing. It helps more than you think. Number 9. Let's trust the villain. Speed 2 Cruise Control, 1997. Speed 2 took everything fun about speed. Fast, dangerous, high stakes, and they put it on a boat. Then it gave us one of the dumbest security failures in action movie history. The villain, Geiger, William Dafoe, is a disgruntled former employee of the cruise ship software company. And he's allowed on board with a bunch of mysterious golf clubs full of weaponized tech. No one checks, no one asks. When he starts tinkering with the ship's navigation and disabling systems, people still treat him like a cranky tourist instead of a dangerous ex-tech wizard with a vengeance plan and leeches in his suitcase. Result, he crashes the ship, kills several people, and causes millions in property damage. All because no one questioned the shady loner with full access to the mainframe and a laptop from hell. Want a life lesson? If your villain looks like Willem Dafoe and talks to himself, maybe don't let him into the control room. Number 8. Let's punch gravity. Moonfall, 2022. Some action movies bend physics. Moonfall drop kicks it into a black hole. When Earth's moon suddenly shifts orbit and begins falling toward the planet, you'd think the reaction would be, panic, global coordination, full-scale evacuation. Instead, NASA waits to tell anyone until half the East Coast is flooded. Then, when the time comes to act, they pick 2 washed-up astronauts and a conspiracy theorist with 0 training to fly a space shuttle to the moon. It's like giving your Uber rating more weight than your actual license. Their plan? Detonate a bomb inside the moon, which is, plot twist, a giant alien megastructure. What could go wrong? Millions die because the government ignores scientists, refuses to warn the public, and sends the Wish.com version of the Avengers into space with a bomb strapped to a Buick. It's not just dumb, it's gravitationally stupid. Number 7, let's go swimming with the Megalodon. Meg 2, The Trench, 2023. You're trapped in an underwater research base. Giant prehistoric sharks, plural, are circling. Communications are down. Air is running low. The plan? Open the exterior doors and go swimming. In Meg 2, a group of scientists make the inspired decision to walk outside into the trench while hunted by Megs and other deadly deep-sea creatures. The logic? We'll move quietly and stay together. 10 seconds later, boom, screams, one guy gets crushed, another one eaten, and the others barely survive a slow-motion monster buffet. These people have access to escape pods, drones, thermal scans, and they choose wetsuit stealth mode? That's not bravery, that's the marine biologist version of the Darwin Awards. Number 6, let's use the front door. Olympus Has Fallen, 2013. In Olympus Has Fallen, terrorists launch a full-on assault on the White House using military planes, RPGs, and heavily armed ground teams disguised as tourists. But the real failure? The White House's entire response protocol. First, their airspace sensors detect nothing until a fighter jet is literally firing on citizens. Then they allow what looks like a maintenance truck to roll right up onto the front lawn. No stop, no search, no radio checks. Cue 40-plus agents dead, multiple cabinet members captured, and the president taken hostage. All because someone forgot the phrase lockdown. It's like they thought security was a vibe, not a job. When terrorists with obvious accents, shady vans, and excessive luggage show up unannounced, maybe skip the welcome mat? We want to know from you, what's the dumbest action movie decision you've ever seen? Was it a villain monologue too long, or a hero jumping off a cliff to prove a point? Drop your pick in the comments. We'll pin our favorite one. We also ranked ultimate one-man armies. Can anyone beat John Wick? Let's find out. Number 5, let's use an experimental weapon during the funeral. Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, 2009. When Optimus Prime dies in Transformers 2, the Autobots and military allies mourn him at a heavily guarded base. You'd think, let's stay cautious, secure the site, and definitely not test unproven weapons around the grieving alien robots. But nope. Instead, the military decides to test a new railgun prototype right in front of the remaining Autobots and hundreds of soldiers during a memorial. The problem? The Decepticons attack mid-test. The gun misfires, chaos erupts, soldiers die, base compromised. They simply waited 10 minutes. They wouldn't have vaporized their own defense team trying to show off tech that didn't work anyway. Grieving alien allies plus experimental weapons equals exactly the time to play it safe, not show off. Number 4, let's drill into the core. The Core, 2003. The core is already a science-free zone, but one decision takes the dumb cake. Let's nuke the planet's molten core to restart it. When Earth's magnetic field begins failing, leading to global disasters, the best and brightest minds agree to build a ship that drills through the Earth's crust to drop nuclear bombs into the core. Why? Because magnets, or gravity. Honestly, the script doesn't explain it either. The ship malfunctions constantly. The crew is picked off one by pressure spikes, lava, confused plotting. If they had stopped to maybe figure out why the core stopped spinning before detonating half the Earth's interior, they might have made it home. Instead, half the team dies due to decisions based entirely on vibes and volcano fan fiction. Number 3. Let's leave the cop alone with the villain. Dark Knight Rises 2012. You've captured a terrorist warlord who once broke Batman's spine. You have him unarmed and cornered. What do? In The Dark Knight Rises, they handcuff Bane and leave him alone with a single officer inside a secure room. No cameras, no reinforcements. 5 minutes later, Bane breaks free, kills the guard, and unleashes an army he had secretly planted underground. Hundreds of cops die in the subsequent battle. And it all began with the brilliant idea to treat Bane like a shoplifter instead of a walking war crime. Rule number 1 of villain protocol: never underestimate the guy who talks like Darth Vader on a speakerphone. Number 2, let's bring a knife to a drug cartel shootout. Sicario, Day of the Soldado, 2018. Sicario 2 is a gritty, brutal film. But even in grounded action thrillers, people still make choices that are monumentally dumb. In one sequence, U.S. federal agents escort a cartel-connected girl through the desert and decide to travel in a visible convoy on known cartel territory with minimal air support and no disguise. The result? They get ambushed in a stunningly predictable desert ambush. Multiple agents and Mexican federales die instantly. It's not strategy, it's a funeral procession. What makes it dumber is that this isn't their first cartel encounter. They've literally watched this happen before, but instead of changing tactics, they double down on the same mistake with worse results. You're dealing with enemies who own half the terrain, have eyes everywhere, and weaponry equal to yours. And your big idea is, let's just drive slowly and hope no one notices. Spoiler, they noticed. Number 1, let's ignore the hacker who said this would happen. Live Free or Die Hard, 2007. Terrorists launching a cyber attack to take down America's infrastructure. Scary. But you know what's scarier? The fact that a hacker warned them about it, and they ignored him. In Live Free or Die Hard, the villain's plan is literally based on a scenario he previously submitted to the government. He knew how to shut down traffic lights, airports, pipelines, and Wall Street, and when he tried to warn the feds, they fired him. Flash forward, he does exactly what he said he would. Planes grounded, cities blacked out, billions lost, dozens die. John McClane spends the rest of the movie cleaning up a mess that could have been avoided by reading one PDF. This isn't just a dumb decision, it's institutional failure in IMAX. You know it's bad when the most reasonable person in the movie is the guy who lives in a basement and drinks Red Bull for breakfast. There you have it, 11 of the dumbest decisions in action movies that led directly to on-screen body counts. From moon nukes to cruise ship hackers. These moments prove that one bad choice can turn an action movie into a full-on disaster film. Think we missed a dumb decision? Tell us in the comments. Maybe we'll make a part 2. That's our list. Stay safe and question the plan.